Hi, this is the help video for Access Chapter 3, Pause and Practice number 2, and we're starting in step number 8. So on the left I have the instructions as it is from our SimNet Sim book. On the right I have the file up to step number 7. So let's take a look at what our next query is. So we're going to introduce quite a bit in this query. Up to now, we've really only done equal conditions. We're going to add in some conditional operators. We're going to do some ands and some ors, and so a little bit more complex. So let's see what we're trying to do. So we're going to create a query in Design View. Okay, so we know that create, query in Design. All right, I'm going to come over here to Tables. And then to locate the potential properties that meet the requirements of the client. Okay, so we're going to start off slow and think about what it is that we would want to show to clients about a property. So we don't really at this point care about agents. We're only looking at properties. So I think we only need the listing table, right? So I'm going to double click on that and it's going to put listing in there. We don't need the agent table. Now if we got to the point where maybe we wanted to put that, right here it says add table, it brings that back up, okay? So you can close it, open it right here, close it with the X, click on add, and it brings that back up. So you're never like stuck, like you made a bad decision and you can't recover. So now I'm going to just open that up. And what do we want to see about a listing? Well, we want the listing ID. So that's the, and then we're going to do address, city, list price, square foot, beds, bath, and garage. So address, city, list price, square foot, beds, baths, and garage. So let me just verify. Listing, address, city, list price, square foot, beds, baths, and garage. So let's say you forgot something. Let me get rid of this. So let me get rid of beds. So let's say I accidentally skipped this beds one, right? And beds needs to go between square foot and baths. So I'm going to click on beds up here and then just drag it down. You get that little knot symbol, just keep going. And it goes between square foot and beds. And do you see how my mouse opens up and it's got that little plus sign? Let go and it inserts it. So even at the point where you're pulling your fields, if you miss one, you can recover from it, right? It's okay. So let's go ahead and save this query as listings for Brandon Buchanan. Okay, so now here's where we're going to get kind of nitty gritty of this. Okay, so the client, Brandon, is looking for homes in Rockville or Roseville, 3 bedrooms at least, right? So we want the at least part, at least 2 bathrooms, and at least 1,800 square feet. Must have a garage, but it doesn't matter if it's attached or detached. In the list price should not be greater than $550 unless it's in Rockland, and then it's going to be $600,000. So there's a lot going on there. And so when you see something like this, just break it down. Do one thing at a time. So we're looking for homes in Rockland or Roseland as the city. So here's how I do this. So the city would be Rockland or Roseville. So I'm going to type Rockland, and then I'm going to go down to the or row. See the or? Because I'm saying, hey, the city could be Rockland or Roseville. So, and then I hit tab. So what I'm saying right now is I want to see all these listings where the city is in either Rockland or Roseville. So if I run it now, I know I can validate that that one piece of my criterion works. I never get to the end of it and then just look at it. Piece by piece, run your query and check your data, because let's say you make a mistake and you don't look at it to the end, you don't know where along the path you made an error or where it kind of broke down. This way, as you go through, run it, you validate it, and then you move on. So I can see this right now. It's only Rockland and Roseville. So I'm going to go back to design, and I know I have that done. So then we're going to move on to the next one. 3 bedrooms. Okay, so here's beds. So at least 3. So I'm going to do greater than, equal to 3. So that means 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. So greater than mean bigger than 3. So that would be 4, 5, or equal, which includes the 3. But I don't want it for just Rockland. I want it for Rockland and Roseville. So I have to repeat that here, because if I left this off, I would say, okay, if the city is Rockland and it has 3 or more bedrooms, or any in Roseville, no limitation on bedroom, right? So you have to repeat that. So now if I run it, I'm getting less. So I'm down to 22. Rockland and Roseville, and then let's look at the bedrooms. There should be nothing under 3, and there's not. So we're good. So we know we got that done. So now 2 baths, at least 2 baths. So we're going to go to the field that says baths, and we're going to do the same thing, right? Greater or equal to 2. Now remember, if I do this here, let's see if there's any. There's probably none. But we need to repeat that, because if there was a property in Roseville that only had 1 bath, it would show up because we didn't put that condition on that row. Remember, when they're on the same row, it's an and, meaning all things have to be true. On separate rows, it's combined with an or. So it always does this row first, and then it looks and does this row. So we have, let's run this. So baths, nothing under 2, we're good. At least 1,800 square feet. So go to square feet, greater than, equal to 1,800, greater than, equal 1,800. So in both of these, whether it's Rockland or Roseville, they have to be 1,800 square feet or more. So let's run it. Okay, we're down to 17. Let's look at the square feet. Nothing under 1,800. So we're good. We can move on. Properties must have a garage, but we don't care if it's attached or not attached. So let's go to okay, so I don't know how to do this, right? So I'm going to look at the data, right? So this is where you have to look at and understand what's in the field. So they want a garage, right? But if I just said, they don't care about attached or detached. So I can't do attached because I wouldn't get the tandem, I wouldn't get the detached. But I need to exclude this carport. So I'm going to say it has to have the word car in it. But if you look at this, it has to have 2 spots before it. So it's got to be character, the word car, and then I don't care what's after it. So that would exclude this carport because carport doesn't have anything in front of it. So that's how we decide that we do this condition. So for garage, I'm actually going to type like, quote, and then question mark, car, asterisk, quote. So that's kind of complex. So let's break it down a little bit. So the question mark means I don't care what's here. It just has to be one. One thing can be here. So by putting 2, I'm saying something, car. And then the asterisk at the end says I don't care what's after the word car. So I have to have 2 spots. They could be 2 blanks. They could be 2 letters. They could be 2 numbers. It doesn't matter. There just has to be 2 things. 2 spots in front of the word car, and then I don't care what's on the end. So let's copy that so I don't have to type it again. So I'm going to do a Control-C, Control-V, and run it. And then look, I got the garage, 3-car attached, 3-car tandem, one car detached, but that carport is gone. Okay, so we're done with the garage. So now we're down to price. So let's look at list price. So for everything, let's do the Rockland one first. So in Rockland, he's willing to spend a little more. So in Rockland, I'm going to say it has to be less than or equal to 600,000. So 600 and then 1, 2, 3 zeros. But in any other place, which would be Roseville, we need it to be less than 550,000. So in this, everything else, the conditions were the same. But in list price, there's a difference between properties in Rockland and properties in Roseville. He would be willing to pay an extra $50,000 to live in Rockland. So let's run that and see. So now we're down to 11, and let's just take a look. So let's see if there's anything. Rockland. There doesn't look like there's anything above it, but it all meets the conditions. So I think we're good. So if we take a look, we're supposed to have 11. We've got 11. So let's take a minute and do a save. So we got Brandon's thing, but now we want to put it in some kind of order because they're really just in listing order, and that really doesn't mean anything to the client. So probably if he's going to go look at these, he probably wants it by city, right? Because he's going to go to Rockland and look at and then go to Roseville and look at all there. So let's start by sorting. So I'm going to go back to design, and then in city on the sort row, I'm going to do ascending. And then within that, for list price, I want to do descending. So highest to lowest priced. So now if I run it, look, it's sorted by Rockland, highest priced property in Rockland to lowest. Then it goes to Roseville, highest to lowest. So that's awesome. I got that. That is perfect. It matches. And we can save it. We can close this one out. And we're done with Pause and Practice 3.3. We'll move on to 3.2. We'll move on to 3.3 in the next movie. Thank you.